Appropriately so, today's message is titled Embracing United Part 1, which means there's a sequel. As we engage the month's theme of embracing possibilities, we want to give every person here an opportunity to go deeper in their relationship with United. One way we're going to do that is have the leaders of many of our service-oriented teams share a little bit about what they do and how you can get involved. So inside your order of service, you will find a sheet of paper with a list of each team that will be speaking this morning. If you don't have one or you need an extra one, there's some down here to your right. Also, please grab a pen or a pencil if you don't have one as well. And as they're speaking, after listening to each team, we're challenging you to check at least one box, just one box, one team that interests you. And to be clear, this isn't a commitment. You're not signing on a dotted line. You're not joining a team, etc. You're simply expressing interest in learning more about that team. And then at the end, once we've collected them all, a leader from each team will reach out to you in the coming days ahead. So, I'll kick things off first with a team that I currently lead, and that is marketing. Marketing is a really interesting team, one of the newer ones we have here, and we gather together to explore different ideas we have to kind of make us known in the community. And there's a few ways that we do that. One of them is a few different events that we've engaged in the past or will in the future. As you know, the Farmers Market, Carroll University Student Fair, which we did this last year, Waukesha Pride coming up, I believe, in September. Those are the types of events that you could maybe help out in, man a booth, say hello, that sort of thing. And also just generally brainstorm and create different ideas for us as marketers, how we can advertise ourselves, like I said, in the community, different signage that we're thinking about, brainstorming about creating. I think it's pretty obvious that we could use some more signage around the building, the streets, etc., so things like that. Different promotional materials as well. So if that's something that interests you at all, again, you're not joining a team, just expressing some interest, just check that box, and we can get back to you and let you know different ways you might be able to help out, especially if you're the creative type. That's a good team for you. Next is religious exploration, which, as you know, we started up this past year. It's been a lot of fun, a great success. But there are two things that we could use help with. One is being an extra volunteer. I know Lily Byriger has helped out tremendously. But we were always looking for secondary volunteers. And what that means is on a rotational basis, you would go back there during the service and just be a second pair of hands. It's really that simple. You're not teaching anything like that. And another option is you can help gather supplies throughout the week. As you can kind of see, I have some, props here. It's something like that. We do all the work. We have the curriculum, and we just let you know if you want to go and gather those things, whether it's some props, whether it's a book from the library. That's another simple way that you could help out with religious exploration. Next is our choir.
Wanted to take a second to talk about the choir and sort of just explain what we're all about, I guess. We meet Sundays 9:30 to 10:15. We meet before the service to rehearse. We haven't been, we're on a little bit of a break right now. We haven't been recently, but we're going to start back up in a couple weeks. We do that during the church year for about 4 or 5 performances. So typically something to kick off the year, something at the holidays, something in the spring, and then something at the end of the year. There is no age requirement for it. Like younger singers are welcome to join us. And no experience is necessary to join the choir. A common misconception of choir is that if you're going to join choir, you have to kind of already be an expert singer or already be an expert at reading music, which is not something that any choir requires. So what we do when we have people join us is we take a little time to develop a common language and sort of get a feel for where everybody's at, and I kind of just adjust the speed to the group in a way that brings everybody along, but also kind of moves us forward. You do not need to, if you were to want to join the choir, you would not need to make 100% of the rehearsals. People have things come up as long as you make enough of them, you feel comfortable learning the music that we're learning for performance. No experience. experience is necessary to join, just a willingness to sing and a willingness to learn. If you're interested in joining the choir, you can contact me so I can get you on the email list, or you can just show up at one of our rehearsals and we'll get you a folder and get you some music and get you up to speed. So hope to see some more people there.
Next is the Social Justice Council, a very small team that we have here at United. Ellen, did you want to come up? Yeah. Nope, sorry.
Hi, so I'm Ellen Poplowski from the Social Justice Council. Rein me in, obviously, if I go over time. I did practice, but there's just so much information. So please come see me afterward, email me or whatever, because there's just a lot. So ongoing collections. The key ongoing collection is of travel toiletries. So there's a basket out in the foyer above the coat rack. We tend to take those to the Hope Center. So, toothbrushes, your travel size toothpaste, just hygiene items, things of that nature. Mostly in the winter, there is a barrel here, and then I don't see Michael Ford here today. She's our coat collector extraordinaire. Winter coats, scarves, boots, etc. There's a barrel here. Again, she has a couple out in the East Troy area where she lives. Those two tend to go to the Hope Center, or Michael has also taken those to a clothing closet in East Troy. The next one on the list here is our blood drives. Okay, so I've been working with, we have been working with Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin for the last, I think it's maybe 12 or so years. One of the reasons why I wanted to do a blood drive years ago was because not everybody can contribute financially or maybe even with other, talents or whatever. So it's a nice way to give something. So the pattern has been, the drives are held here, usually the first Monday in June. That includes this year, it will be June 1st. Last year we did two. We did one in the first Monday of June and the first Monday in December. We tend to donate 20 to maybe 22 or so units of blood, always greatly appreciated, obviously, by the local hospitals and whatnot. Honestly, a lot of us, you can't donate for medical, or sometimes there are travel restrictions. But if you still want to help, you could help set up, because we need to, clear out the sanctuary, and then, of course, reset things a couple days later. So there's ways to get involved, even if you cannot donate blood. What's next on your, okay. Local meal preparation and service. This is the second year that we're going to be serving a taco lunch to folks at the Hope Center. It's coming right up, so this is very good timing. There is a list of needed food items downstairs on a dry erase board, or people have given me cash, so a few of us can go shop. But your taco seasoning, bags of cheese, the obvious. So I have a pretty good group of people, but always looking for more, to help prepare the food that mostly involves, mostly browning the meat, 25 or so pounds of meat a week from tomorrow. And that's also in your order of service, and I think it was also in last week's announcement. So a week from tomorrow, we'll be preparing the food. The day of the actual service at the Hope Center is Wednesday, April 22nd. So a week from this Wednesday. Side note, last year we served about 75 people. I have been told by the Hope Center that serving 90 people is getting more common, just to give you an idea of the needs in, just this community. That's just one lunch. So we'll be doing that again in about a week and a half. Christmas Clearing Council, that's a local agency here in town that we've partnered with for the last many years. Basically, families need to meet an economic, income level need, and then we kind of adopt or sponsor a couple of families. Usually we purchase gifts for 6 to 7 children. And this congregation has always been very generous with contributions, so we can also then usually get like gift cards for grocery stores or whatever for each of it's usually 2 or 3 families that we adopt or sponsor. So that, starts coming up in mid-November already. Okay, share the plate. So the Social Justice Council has been helping decide who the beneficiary of the monthly Share the Plate is. That's the 3rd Sunday of the month. So half of what is collected in cash goes to a local or at least an area, organization. So actually for April, I wanted to mention that Mary LaFond, who is not here today, but she did some research, and we kind of wanted to do something maybe related to Earth Day for April. So for April, it's going to be a Green Growing Power group that donates their produce to the Hope Center, actually. But, other beneficiaries have been Friends with Food, Forward Latino. That's a group that does a lot with the immigration issues, especially going on currently. Street Angels, that's a group more in the Milwaukee area that helps homeless people get showers. They have a mobile shower unit. So, we've been been creative, I think, with some of these ideas, always open to suggestions. So again, that's once a month on the 3rd Sunday. Half Share the Plate, or half the collection goes to an agency. Reparations Fund. United is the keeper, if you will, of the Reparations Fund from the 5 area Unitarian Universalist congregations. That's us, obviously, Heartland, Brookfield, Mequon, and First Church in Milwaukee. There's about $4,000 right now in that fund, and I'm just going to read a brief description of exactly what that fund is meant for. So it's the coalition of the 5, again, area churches, known as Black Lives Matter to Wisconsin United Universalists, established a fund in 2021 to help repair the harms done to Black people living in the United States and to facilitate long overdue reparations for chattel slavery. We could do a whole service just on reparations. It is not just, giving people money, but this is one small way of trying to repair harms done. And actually what we're going to be doing, the Black Lives Matter group that I'm part of, Black Lives Matter to Wisconsin UUs, we are going to be giving $500 from that fund to a Sherman Park grocery store, because if you're not familiar with that area of Milwaukee, that is a huge food desert. Even a local Aldi in that area closed. So there is a Sherman Park grocery store that is trying to stay afloat, trying to get people some basic, staple, healthy meals, and so we're going to be taking $500 from that fund and giving it to that group or that grocery store. Again, I touched on Black Lives Matters. We meet monthly via Zoom. We are kind of reformulating. Come see me if you have questions about that. We're actually looking at maybe expanding kind of beyond Black lives, because we know, especially with this current administration, it isn't just Black people. It's anyone that doesn't look like me, quite frankly, that is being, targeted and hurt and harmed. So we're looking at maybe kind of broadening not just the name, but also the mission. And then Sophia, another huge one. That could be a whole nother service. And actually, we have had Sophia come, and I'd like to have them come back. So Sophia stands for Stewards of Prophetic, Hopeful, Intentional Action. I seem to be part of these complicated named organizations. So United is a member of Sophia, along with about 12 other organizations, mostly faith-based. Social justice, 3 key task forces are housing, immigration, super busy these days, and criminal justice reform. Also in your order of service, and hopefully you've seen in the last few weekly newsletters, also timely, the Sophia Breakfast, annual breakfast is Saturday at La Casa. You can still purchase tickets on the Sophia website. Also opening today at 8 a.m. and going through Friday at noon is Sophia's online auction. So a lot of stuff actually really timely for me to be up here trying to build a better world especially in our little corner of the world. A lot of information, I know that. Again, please come see me, email me. That should be up there, but it's not. I'm in the directory though. And we do meet, actually we're meeting today. We usually meet the first Sunday of the month after service. Last week was Easter, so we are meeting today for about an hour just to talk about projects, brainstorm about new ideas, etc. Thank you for your time and all your help. Thanks.
Thanks, Ellen. No, you're good. Next is our auction team, and Gilles is going to talk about that right now.
Hello, everyone. I'm your auction chair. As you can tell by the title, the auction team has a very focused mission, which is to deliver the spring auction every year. I guess the one thing about it is if we do it well, you don't really know a lot of what's going on because it just happens. The upshot of that, first off, is it's broadly a list of 55 things that need to happen that we have a total task list for. The nice thing about the auction team, and if you want to participate on it, is it's very focused. So it basically come early in the year, we start gearing up for it because it's always in spring. So the auction team really is we have kind of a pretty active couple of months there. And as we get going, and a lot of things there you can see, you can really participate in lots of different ways. So I would just say if you're interested in it, kind of tell me what you're good at and we can make it match. But here are some of the items, right? So first off, the auction once a year, one of the key items is gather items, or a lot of that too also involves kind of if you know people and what they're good at, you kind of poke them and say, hey, I think really you're really good at this, and I think people might want to know about what you do here, or you're really good at making quilts. Maybe you could, do one of these. I think people would like it. So there's a bit of the gathering, but it's also a lot of poking and just friendly encouragement. And then, of course, once those items come in, then there's organizing and prep, and that's two sides of it. There is the physical organizing the information and all that, but because we have a great website service that we use, there's also then verifying the information about those. So if you're kind of more of a digital person, let me know. If you're more of a physical person and managing stuff, let me know too, because those are two different categories. So with that, there's just a lot of updating of the website that goes on. And then if sort of that longer term stuff doesn't work for you, but you're like, hey, I'd like to just volunteer on specific items, there's day of things, and that can be auction prep. So basically the day of helping with setting the room, or even then day of, we always have what we call the check-in team, the people outside getting people in the system, giving them a paddle, making sure they're in our system. And then if you're really good at a computer, and then you could actually be up here, what we call the checkout team. So those are the people actually recording the bids real time. If you want to take a shot at being an auctioneer and dethrone Shane, you could try calling the auction if you want. And then also that same team that does the real-time bidding then handles the checkout. With our new system, checkout's gone a lot easier because most of you just check out on your phone with the app. And then, of course, distributing items as they're won. And really the big item that we could use help on right now, if there's any area that you're considering, please consider this as the breakdown team. Because what happens pretty much every year is that the breakdown team is the prep team. So that means there's people that are here at 5 and then get to stay an hour later to close everything down and to close all that. So we'd really appreciate help on that breakdown team to be like, hey, you guys cover the early part, make it happen, and then we got you covered on the back end to help just clean it out when everyone's done. So that's really broadly it on the type of things you can help. The short answer, let me know what you're good at. Let me know, or Susan, or Paula. They really kind of know all the elements of it. While I'm up here talking auction, I'm back from France, and as promised, it is now time to start telling me about said auction items and what you want to do. So on the flip side, the other way to contribute, if you don't want to be on the team, is help us with items. So that is now is a time to go look at the website, or you can send an email to auction@united.uuc.org. That goes to me. So you can tell me what you're interested in as far as an item you might want to donate. Doesn't have to be an item. It could also be a lot of things that are popular or like events. So if you want to host a game night or host a dinner, or you have something you're really passionate about. As an example, I think Chet and Sally, they go to film festivals a lot. So they're like, hey, let's go to a film festival. My wife Sarah and I did dancing. We invited some people to a dance event. So any of those kind of things, share your passion, be that an item, be that a gift. And then also, if not, just share with friends too, right? So the auction goes two ways. There's the online auction, and then there's the live auction that happens. Will be Saturday, May 30th right here. But that online auction, anyone who can just get to the web can participate. So if you see things as you're looking through and you think someone might like that item, you can spread the word that way too. Or even if you've got a friend and you got a friend that does something really cool, and you might be like, hey, maybe we could work something out together and you can help my church out. So those are some of the things we're looking at. But please, right now, as you're thinking of items, start getting that submitted on the link I believe has been sent out on the regular emails, or just reach out to me and we can get you started. Any questions on that? Well, the cookies are usually a regular item. That's a great point. I don't know about the $100. You can, that's what the bidding is for. But generally on two things on that. One, in terms of the items, I always want to remind people it's an auction, not a rummage. So if you have items, kind of make them, nice items that you think people would want. From that standpoint, and then the other thing too is also reaching out to businesses. This is another thing I forgot to mention that can help us in those kind of things. So if that's an item thing you're interested in, let us know. Any other questions? Oh, one last thing on that. For like the cookies or things that are recurring item. Easiest thing to do that is send an email to the auction or just contact me and say, hey, that thing, basically if you've done it in the last 5 years, it's in the system. So if you're like, hey, I want to do, that dinner I did 3 years ago, I'm going to do that again, but I'm just going to change a theme from Italian to French. Okay, cool. It's easier for me to copy it and pop it in than for you to do all the form and stuff. So if it's kind of a repeat or a variation on a theme, just email, contact me or email auction@united and say, hey, I want to do this, and then just change it a little bit. So that's the fastest way to handle that, so you don't have to reload a whole bunch of stuff in. So, thank you.
Okay, next, Jennifer Bierger is going to share about the care team.
I'm Jennifer. I'm a member of the care team. The mission of this group of people is to take care of the congregation. We meet monthly. Reverend Jim attends most meetings. We bring forward any of our members or friends who are struggling or have requested our help. Confidentiality is very important. We do not discuss any congregant situation outside of the group. We will ask permission for the person or persons who needed our help before we share their information with others in the church if we need to seek extra volunteers for a given situation. The care team's main purpose is to organize assistance, not necessarily to provide assistance ourselves. Sometimes we do. We help folks with illnesses, people who are dealing with surgeries or advanced aging issues, among other challenges. We help by delivering meals, providing transportation, acting as healthcare advocates, and just as importantly, by providing emotional support through cards, calls, emails, texts, or visits. Communicating with the individual or families is a key piece. Letting them know we are here for them, hearing what their concerns are, and helping them navigate through whatever their situation is. The care team has also assisted with the planning of a memorial service and luncheon for a longtime member here who had no local family other than us. Our family here at United wanted to honor her life and her memory with our own service. The care team does all of that. We care for and are here for our family at United. We currently have 7 members and will always welcome more. To get involved with our team, just make contact with Paula Pambianco, or any of us on the care team, among me, Donna, who else is here today, just contact us, check, hi, Denise, check the box and we'll get a hold of you. Thank you.
Thank you. And then last is building and grounds. I believe Dennis is going to share.
Hi, I'm Dennis. I am the board's, I'll say, building and ground coordinator, but there are so many hands that participate in buildings and grounds, and I'd like to thank everybody that's been involved in that over the last year. And really, Paul and Jennifer's skit was just perfect, because that's just a great example, and so much of the stuff that is in there has to do with our building and our grounds for volunteering. We've got a lot of stuff going on. We need lots of little hands. There's a small group of us that does a lot of the coordination and handles the big stuff, but with so few hands, a lot of the little stuff we end up doing as well. So, we really need volunteers that might say, hey, I have an hour a month that I could help out with. It's like, that's perfect, because that would take 1 hour a month off of somebody who already is doing a lot here at UU. So regular maintenance is ongoing, and we have a crew that does the lawn cutting, we have a crew that does grounds upkeep, building upkeep, and again, it's a small crew, and we tend to do a lot of everything. An example of small things that a person could do is, for instance, who knew that the piano needs to be humidified? I didn't know that until Paul went on vacation and said, hey, Dennis, can you, feed the piano every 2 weeks? I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, it's got to be done. And I'm like, yeah, that does make sense. But who knew? And then snow shoveling, November and April, we do have a person that comes and plows, who does the big stuff, and then we shovel the walks and clear the areas around the building. And then there's all sorts of things in here that could use extra help, just cleaning, dusting blinds, windows every once in a while. Our cleaning service does the main stuff, but a lot of those things are what we tend to do on our own as we find time, or as we did last year, I organized a big single cleaning day. It'd be a whole lot easier to do a lot of little cleaning all the time than to do a big single cleaning day. So, more hands will help on that. Upcoming projects, we've got a lot of things that we're working on, and as time and money allows, we will get them done. But just an example, we're halfway done with installing gutter guards. Paul and I installed them on this side of the building last fall. We need to install them on this side of the building, which is going to be happening soon. There's a lot of repainting that will be occurring in the building through time. Anybody with a brush and has a reasonable hand or can deal with rollers, more than welcome to come and help that sort of thing. We're going to be replacing a small downspout section. We patch our own concrete. We're going to be repairing the cracks in the blacktop. That's going to be a fall project, probably by a professional. I don't think we're going to do that ourselves. We're going to be repainting the parking lines in the parking lot. We've got a block wall back here along this garage that needs to go from this to this. And that's something I think we can do on our own, since it's not a public walkway. So the main point is, we need help doing all of this stuff, and if you would be so kind and have time to do it, fill out the little form, check buildings and grounds, and I'll give you a call. Thank you. Any questions for today? But I think we're going on.
I'm going to start with a round of applause for everyone who does help in the congregation, leader-wise. It takes a lot in a small congregation like this. This isn't to throw shade at another congregation, but there's another UU congregation that's local that I will not name that has 8 times the budget that we do. I'm not trying to insult anyone, but just kind of shows, budget, manpower, et cetera. It's different for each congregation. So we're very grateful for everyone's help and everything that we do. Before we move on, I know that's kind of a fire hose. It felt like that to me. So if it felt like that to me, it probably did to you. So what I want to do is give you a couple minutes to look at that sheet of paper that's in your insert and consider checking just one box. Alex is going to play some music for us, and just consider checking one. And there's a basket down here to the right, because if you're like me, you'll probably just forget on your way out of service to put that in there. So I'm going to give you time to do that right now. Make sure I'm not missing anything as well. Nope, that's it. So just a couple minutes to consider, and please drop it in that box, and then we will move on.